Hello, my name is Cheryl Wilson and welcome back to my channel, especially those that keep coming back every week. And for the last couple weeks I've been able to put a couple of videos out. So thank you for coming back, and I love getting to know you. And again, thank you for those that are part of my membership group. You're the one that keeps me going with my paints and my canvases and helping me pursue this YouTube channel. I have a very unusual painting today. You'll see me start out by saying, with a lot of vim and vigor, I'm going to be painting a floral. And then you find out, well, you've known probably by the thumbnail that it wasn't a floral. I think I haven't put the video together as of this recording, but what I think I may do is even leave in the piece where I'm looking at the painting and I say I don't like it, and I start to really put my hands in it and mess it up. Well, what happened was, which this is what I tell you a lot of times, is to keep going on your paintings, even if you make a mess, even if you don't like what you're doing. Push through, take risks, because you'll end up many times with something that you'll find, wow, I'm going to take this a little bit further and I like what I did. You may say, no, I like the floral. Why'd you do that? But let me show you. Okay, so here's the one that I ended up with, although I'm going to show you a couple others. I didn't actually put this painting, I didn't finish this painting in front of you. I recreated the whole thing over again to kind of give you an idea so you see the process and the technique. But here's the painting. And the reason why I love this so much is if you look at it, let me see how close I can get. You'll see the scrapes that are in this painting are just rich and phenomenal. So I'm trying to get this as close as I can. So what happened with this painting is when I got to the point where I had all the colors on it, then I put, this is like what was one of the colors that ended up being blended on my palette. I put it on the canvas and I started scraping through it, and you can even see some of like the yellow, some of the colors that were underneath show through. And that just inspired me to do my normal marks. And you'll see I brought out a liner here and just had fun. And I grabbed a couple canvases, and each one is a little bit different in the material. This is an edge gallery, and the finish on this is a little bit different. And I like it on these smaller ones. It almost looks like a linen type when you paint on it. And then here's the one, and I'm not sure if it's done. I keep tweaking with it, but I wanted to get this video out. But this is the one I actually show you. I do the technique, recreate it for you on canvas, and I paint that for you. So I hope you enjoy this video. The reason why I went through and said I'm going to go ahead and put this out, because it leaves me a little bit vulnerable. And you know, as an artist, that's hard for artists to open themselves up to other artists. I mean, not everybody likes my videos. I see by a thumbs down on some of them. And I don't know why, but there's something about my paintings that some people may not like, and that's okay. My art is not for everyone. Those clients that buy my art connect with my art, and that's what I'm painting for, from the depth of my heart to the people that connect with my painting, and that's what I want for you. And the reason why I'm showing my vulnerability on this is because when you get to a point where your painting is not going as you think it should go, I've always told you to keep going, take risks, and that's what I did here. I took a risk, and then by being authentic to myself with my marks, I ended up with a style I've got like 4 of them now, and there's, you know, one over, let me see, over here, finishing up. I like the little series that I've created. It was fun, and it's the technique that I want you to take away, not necessarily paint like me. You know, you may like a lot more color on there. It's the technique of what I want to show you and the concept of hanging in there. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to jump right into the painting, and you can just kind of like laugh at me when I say I'm painting this floral and I'm going along and I'm so confident about what I'm doing, and then I get to a certain point, but I know it's not going well. And I'm even wondering if I'm going to show this video to you, and then that's where we're at now. I thought I would do just a small little floral. I've been on I don't know if you call it a kick, but just on a roll to make some florals. And I'm going to grab some different colors. I do have a lot of golden. I have regular high flow and fluid. I'm going to grab a green. So I'm just going to put out some colors. And start with some greens. I even have this Nova emerald green. I don't know how much of that I'll use because it's shiny. I don't do a lot of shiny. I'm going to get some white out. Let's see. Get the palette knife out to get some white. I've mentioned this before, but the best way to mix your colors is, or to have them all harmonize, is to have some mixture of each of them in the other. So you may not see all the colors because I want to make sure that you can see my board. But let's see, my flowers are gonna be definitely some pink. So let me put some of that out. This is the golden pink. And I'm going to mix some high flows in with those. Maybe a touch of orange to mix in. And then some magenta. It's a small canvas, so I don't need a lot. I may grab another canvas so that I can intermix between. But even with this magenta mixed with the orange that I had right there, let's add a tad of yellow in. So we even have a color that is very beautiful. So the beauty of that is if I add some more of that magenta, And then I add a little white in with that. These two are going to go together beautifully. This has got a lot more of the orange in it. And even if I were to take some of that, put it over there, and add some of the lighter pink. I could take the lighter pink right out of the jar, but having some of the other colors here mixed in, just all of a sudden makes them all much harmonious. So I'm going to do that with some of the greens I have here. I love this green. It's the green gold, but I don't like it alone. I never have. But I love it when you mix some of the other colors with it. Look how beautiful that is. So we'll put some of that over here, some of the phthalo green. That's a darker green. Okay, so I may want I'm going to want the dark green because that's where my value I'm thinking is going to come from. Let me just add a tad of that. And I'm going to just start by, let me move the canvas back over for you. Putting some green on the background. Mix. I normally do large canvases, so I'm going to be careful to be careful of the sizes. That's why it's great to have different brush sizes. These, I'm going to pretend like these are leaves. All right. Mix some of that. So, you know, if you look at leaves outside in nature, they're different colors. Like the top side will be one color and the bottom will be another. Okay, so okay, so let's go and start with I'm going to use a larger, like a round type brush, and I'm going to start, get it a little wet. I'm going to start with maybe a darker leaf, get my brush a little too wet. I'll make it two-toned. Got that a little wet, so let's make this two-toned. Okay, let's do a brush down here. And you know what I didn't put on here is some lavender. So let's see how we can add some lavender in here. Purple. Right, so let's take a smaller brush. I want a smaller with a round top. So let's maybe two-toned. Let's add like a purple behind. Make it darker up there. Add some purple in the mix here. I didn't clean my brush. It just went right in. All right, I want to do really light pink up here. All right, so now I need to get some different colors in here. Let's put some yellow. I'm putting that yellow next to the purple because they're complementary. Adding. Now, what I have to do now is it's getting all the same tone. So I need to, and this is when I may bring in the original color without mixing it, because it's going to go with the other colors. But I'm going to bring in, I should have probably let this dry. Let's bring in some okay, now let's let this dry because I'm getting it, and I need to bring some of the green back in. I'll bring some of that down here. Okay, I'm going to bring some more green in. Okay. what I'm doing now is I'm being real careful, but I'm bringing in some white to bring back some balance. And sometimes we're just adding different shapes in. This is kind of just throwing in some color. So I'm going to go back in and bring what I've done is I've got some flats, some raised. I'm bringing in some very like line work. Got larger shapes. I've got some smaller shapes. I do like throwing in the white. So I'm going to get like a thin brush. I've got a couple rigger brushes here. Those are those real thin ones. And what this is doing is just throwing in color. And I feel like I need some larger shapes. This is a very unusual floral for me. It's almost like a little girl picked a bouquet. All right. Now, I always do black. Some people might say that it's ruined with the black. It's a preference thing. Defining that a little bit more. No. I don't do flowers well. I just don't. That was probably a mistake because that was probably too much. So at this point, I'm scraping all the paint off. And don't worry, all that paint that I'm putting to the side, I don't waste it. I end up using that on, I think, about 4 or 5 other canvases. So even though I'm scraping this down, I end up blending that together and creating this painting and several others. This is more me. This is more my style. So even though I do like florals and I will create them, I want to show you the technique to create this other style of painting. Okay, so here's the concept. Since I turned the camera off because I was so upset. Okay, here's the concept. Here we have all this color here, right? Okay. Now I need to add some more to make it realistic to what I did. So let me add some of the greens. And I'm going to have to dry this. I think I had something like this. I didn't like it. I thought, oh, this is terrible. Let's see. Where's my greens? Here's my stems. And we're talking about. Here's my leaves. Okay. And we dry this. let this dry. Okay, so now we're back to this, and I am going to mix up some color. I've been using a pink color that I'm liking, so I think that is what I'm going to mix up. So let me get some white here. And I didn't want it like pure pink, so let's see. I think I had a little bit of orange, maybe a little bit of yellow. Yeah, that's toned down the pink. Maybe just a tad more. And then maybe just a tad yellow. Let's see. I need so let's just go with that for the purpose of showing you. And a little bit of water. I mean, you could let some of the other background peek through if you wanted. But before this dries, I'm going to take and what that's doing is I'm seeing through. I wanted to pop in here the final painting after it's dried and signed and finished off at this particular point, so you see where I'm going with this painting. Again, you could have left the floral. I could have left the floral, but this is more me. This is my journey. And so taking the risk to go off on this, and I'll show you more at the end of the video, makes me so much happier. Some of the color underneath is the color from what was the painting underneath. And the reason why I blur some of that back out is I never like to leave it exactly where you can see the line. And that's going to smear a little bit, which is what I want. So the other thing is I didn't want it to be all, so I'm going to rub some of this in, give it some texture. Just like a play back and forth. Again. If I'm kind of rough with the canvas, that's even better because it's adding texture. Scraping. I like this very well. Okay, more harsh texture. The better I like it. Okay, so now I'm going to add, I don't want pure black, but I want to add some markings here. So let's bring in some of the pink. I want it dark, but I just want to add some marks. Okay, along with that, I can use this is where you're just going to play. Okay. Now, the other thing is use my fine liner and just write some words on there. You can, I've been doing something where I kind of start like with an O and just add a little bit down there. Then I blot some of that up. Go in, just, you know, whatever is like making you feel like you're including your marks. I right away like to close this up, and you get the metal piece right in the center. It's hard to see it. Okay. Then I like to use my charcoal. Okay. So there's another piece. Rough. It's what I like. You want to doesn't hurt to add another color in there. Add as many scratches as you want. So again, this is the finished piece after it's dry. I did go in with my fingers and add some white and kind of tone down some of the black you'll see. And I call this Scratched Whispers. So this is a 12 by 12, and it was the technique I used. I decided to use that leftover paint, and I grabbed some other canvases, and let me show you what some of those look like. This is a little 8 by 8, and I kept this a little bit more minimalistic, and I call this Abstract Blush. And I really love, maybe this is my favorite because of the simplicity. But again, you see the scratches through there, then you see the little added with the fine liner. And here's another one. Here's one, it's a 12 by 12. It's got a lot of scratches and depth to it. This is one of the ones I think has the most color underneath it and the most raw, but I love this one too. It's a very raw painting, called it Scratched Impressions. And then the last one I want to show you is at 8 by 8. I added more of the different colors of the tones of the pinks. I call this Etched Whimsy. It's an 8x8. And there's some gray tones. I love them all, and this is more my journey, so I hope you enjoyed seeing these.